Hey y'all, Emily here from fairairmusic.com. If you've been following along in this series, you'll know that we are up to the recording phase from our start to finish creating a song. Today I wanted to talk about recording and just kind of set you up for successful results. And I know there's a lot of videos out there that talk about recording hacks, and I don't know why we would need hacks to record audio. It's already pretty simple, and if you're not really getting the results that you want, it's probably you don't have room treatment properly, put up, or the quality of microphone isn't that great, or maybe your preamp. But those are very simple fixes. You just, need to maybe invest in something that's, of good quality, and that doesn't mean a lot of money. There are plenty of inexpensive things, just like I've gone over in my home studio gear guide with audio interfaces. Lots of great options. So the next time you see a video that's trying to tell you to put a pencil in front of a microphone, don't do that. We can get some better sounding vocals than having to do any sort of hacks. So let's learn a couple of things that you might need to know to get started. So I've got a fairly inexpensive microphone here. This is the Rode NT1A. This was the first large diaphragm condenser mic that I ever purchased, and the reason that I did purchase that was because I knew of the Rode name. I knew I was going to get some pretty decent quality out of this microphone. It also came with a shock mount, and it came with a pop filter. Now, I didn't really like to use that pop filter, and I'll go over why in just a second, but this is a pretty good mic. I love, that this is something that you can always depend on, and it's very inexpensive. I think with that whole little bundle, it's around, $200 maybe, like $220, $230, but you get a couple of things with that. And yeah, I really like how it's like suspended here. That's really nice as well. The next thing, and I guess it's something that you don't have to have, you could definitely just sit this on a table or a shelf or something and sing right into it, but you might need a mic stand. And this goes on fairly simple. You can adjust it to however you want. You could have this completely upright like this and screw it on. You could have it angled so that the mic stand is away from your body, and put that on and then adjust the angle. Now, I know a lot of people, when they watch movies with recording studios in them, they see microphones that hang upside down like this, and they're holding their ear, and it just looks so professional, right? No. Okay, so I don't. That's a show. Your best bet is having your microphone up like this and not picking up anything below where you are singing, okay? There is a good chance that if you are singing like this, that you're easy to, move your hand anywhere. And if you're moving down here and you're really into it, it's going to pick up more of a rustle with your shirt. If you're up here, it's not going to be picking up as much of that, right? I feel like there are just too many chances of not getting a decent sounding recording. People do it because they think it looks like the movies and the shows. But anyways, also, it's easier to pick up on noise from your shoes and stuff like that. So I would just stick with it straight up like this. Now, to get rid of any sort of mouth pops and air pressure that can kind of overtake your vocal recording, get you a pop filter like this one. This one doesn't connect to the mic shock mount, but it just very, very simply just, you've got an adjustable thing here that you can connect to the mic stand and adjust this however you feel like you need it. Instead of using a pop filter and someone's telling you to put a pencil in front of it that supposedly changes the air, breaks up the air. No, don't do that. If you're having a little bit of a problem with the mouth sounds and the air and the pops and the tiss, then get a pop filter like this one. This has 2 different mesh sidings, so you're getting double protection there, and there's like at least an inch space in between the 2. Works great. No, put your pencils up. Microphone for vocals, large condenser mic like this. Now this is also going to go a long way in recording other things such as acoustic guitars. If you've got a piano set up, great for that. I've put this on a cello before. It's very versatile and very affordable, especially when you're just starting out. And if you're just going to be, having your home studio and building out your demos to pitch around town and here in Nashville on Music Row, trying to get you a pub deal, then why would you spend all that money? You're going to be needing to save your money, so I wouldn't put it into a microphone for that. Also, these, not very expensive. This one, with this like double-sided pop filter going on here, this was probably like, I think, maybe $25, $30. And I can put it anywhere with this adjustable clamp here. Works great. So that's got you covered on that. Don't be afraid to stick this in front of a guitar amp either. And speaking of guitar amps, let's go over to one right now and check out a little mic technique that I like to do sometimes. Okay, so hopefully there's enough lighting here for you to see this, but I'm just going to be showing a little technique that I like to do sometimes when micing up a guitar amp. This is going to be for like electric guitars, and a lot of times you'll hook that up with something like this, an SM57. I got this microphone when I went back to school for music production and mixing, and I won it in a mix competition that my music recording class had. So that was the first kind of studio standard mic that I ever got. But anyways, so a lot of times you'll see people just mic this up, and then they'll find the cone here, and it's always good to have a little flashlight in the studio, but if not, your phone works just fine. And then you can just set that up right on the amp itself like this, and then you can kind of see where you want to place that. You've got the very middle of the cone there for a direct sound. If you want just a little bit more air off the guitar, then have it off-centered there. What I like to do though, because I do tend to like the sound of the cone, right? Directly on the cones where you get the cleanest sound. But sometimes it's a little overpowering. And so what I like to do is just find the cone, find the middle of the cone, and kind of dip down underneath it. So if the center of the cone is right here, I've got this just a little bit lower than it. And then I will turn up the mic just a little bit so that it's not completely picking up the center of that capsule, that it's just sort of tilted up a little bit so that the middle of the cone is going right over top of it. So I'm picking up clean sound, but it's not overpowering the mic capsule there. And I get some pretty good results out of it. It's not too much, like you can adjust it. Maybe you have it even tilted up more like this. But it's just, to your taste and whatever the song is that you're recording. But that is a trick that I do like to do. But there you go. I mean, these aren't hacks. They're just, learning mic placement and what to do with mics and how they work when they're working, when they're recording, doing their job. Okay, so now we've got vocals, we've got amps. How would we record an acoustic guitar? So also a lot of different things get talked about on this as well. And I really think it's just however you think it sounds best, what works best with the song that you're recording, all of those things. But what I typically like to do is, if I've just got one microphone, then I want to set that up to where it's kind of facing this area here. I like to go a little bit below and not directly on the strings. A lot of times people say to aim for the 12th fret. I think that works just fine too. I think as long as you're just not in the area of this right here, it just gets a little boomy with the guitar hole there. I think a lot of times people may have the microphone too close and it gets too boomy, or too far away and it kind of just sounds like you're recording in an empty room and that the microphone is, you know, in the distance. A lot of times, you know, if you're using a pick, which, you know, probably are, if you're recording, you want to be able to hear the guitar. But if your microphone is kind of faced too far into your hand in that pick, then all you're going to be getting is that pick sound. It's going to be just dominating everything, and it's going to be hard to get kind of the whole picture of the guitar instead. Now, ideally, I would like to have a acoustic guitar mic'd up with two mics. One kind of facing the 12th fret here, kind of facing that way, and then another one kind of turned in behind here so that we're kind of like this. I guess it'd be more like this. If you can get those mics to, you know, have the capsule of the mics on the same plane, then that's going to be really cool. And it would be also cool if you're doing a vocal at the same time to have all three of those in a triangular position and have them all on the same plane so that you cut down on any sort of phase, because your vocal will go into the guitar mics and the guitar mic will go into the vocal mic. But if you get that set up right and all aligned, it sounds pretty amazing. Most of the time you're going to be using a condenser mic for that. On the electric guitar and the guitar amps, I do like to go with the SM57, which is a dynamic mic. And you can also blend a condenser in there as well. I know that's pretty popular to do. But anyways, I hope that has set you up to get ready for recording your song. And just remember, there aren't any hacks in this, right? It's just learning things and experimenting with things and, you know, knowing the different types of microphones and how they work best on certain instruments, you know. Because don't forget, you know, vocals also sound really great on a dynamic mic. I have cut vocals. I've cut a whole album with using a 57 on the vocals and all the background vocals. And the thing has over 100,000 streams. So yeah, works just great. So go ahead, download the Home Studio Gear Guide if you haven't already. And I'll give you some pretty good recommendations and a lot of good price points, especially for those who are just starting out. This is all to help build your home studio and get you recording a lot faster, but also learning along the way. Also, before you go, don't forget to download the start to finish song creation guide that I have as a free gift that goes along with this video series, because in the next video, we're going to be going over mixing, and we're going to do that all with stock plugins. Can you believe it? All right, thanks so much for watching, y'all. We'll talk soon.